Those little spot checks let them know that you're thinking about them, they're on your mind, what they're doing is important, it brings value to the organization, and you got a lifeline. I'm your lifeline if you need me. True appreciation of you as the leader, as the business owner for what they did, no matter how hard they worked, no matter how many hours they put in, a simple thank you, and then be specific about what you're thankful for. Thank people for what they're doing and have them challenge them to pay it forward to somebody else. These are the things that will perpetuate, that will amplify, that begin to snowball in an organization, and they are completely free. Everything that we went over today is 100% free. Hey everyone, John here. Welcome to today's episode. One of the biggest pieces of feedback that I get from business owners and leaders is I don't have the money to acknowledge or reward my employees. I'm a small business. We're barely getting by, or we just don't have the time. We're not all together. Maybe you're spread across geographic areas and you can't get everybody together to recognize them. Well, if you're in that boat, today is going to be a very tactical episode around 100% free ways that you can create meaningful relationships through small interactions. As I was kind of doing my research today, one of the things I came across is just by saying somebody's name, either in a thank you or, hey, good morning, John, increases trust up to 30% in our relationships. So the power of taking just 60 seconds of your time, words, which are 100% free, and using somebody's name to tell them good morning or tell them thank you can increase trust. Are you kidding me? I mean, those types of things are just invaluable to building the team culture, to building the organization, to building really a business that people want to come work for. So let's get into what we're going to talk about today. The first topic, we're going to break this up into 3 segments as we always do. And today we're going to dive right into the practical applications that you guys can use to accomplish each one of these 3. So recognizing hidden moments is the first one that I wrote down, and I was figuring out, okay, where are those just moments throughout the day that we as leaders, we as business owners can build interactions into or program those interactions into already our busy days, our busy schedules. And these 3 things came to mind because, again, leadership doesn't have to be only about big gestures. That one time a year bonus that we give everybody, or the Christmas party that we have, or maybe that program review that we get everybody together for. We can do it on a consistent basis, just like leadership is consistent. We can do these things if we're consistent, and they will start to build lasting influence within our organization. So the first one, I mentioned this earlier, and it goes right back to what the research tells us is using somebody's name. How many times do you walk in, the door in the morning and you're carrying your bag, you got your cup of coffee, and you're telling everybody good morning, and you just walk by, go to your office, you sit down, and you immediately start your day. I'm victim to that. I do that, and I catch myself. Instead, what name dropping does, and you can still have your coffee in your bag in hand, but as you walk by people, use their name as you say good morning to them. Hey, good morning, Janice. Hey, good morning, Susan. Good morning, Bob. Whatever that looks like, and look them in the eye and just take 2 seconds of your time to make eye contact, let them know good morning. It will make a big difference. Again, absolutely free. So name dropping, and that can go along the line as thank yous. Thank you, Susan, for that great feedback that you gave us during that meeting. Instead of thank you for that great feedback, use their first name. So name dropping, free, easy to do in those little small moments throughout the day. The second one here, micro shout out. So I kind of combined that with the last example where I thank Susan for the feedback that she offered during the meeting. But these are just small, very small, right? Micro examples or times throughout the day where you can take advantage of thanking somebody, welcoming somebody. Again, use that name, use their names. There's something about it when somebody says my name, it lets me know, one, that they know who I am, even though we've been working quite a lot. But again, we just don't talk normally like that throughout the day. So when you use their name, it catches their attention. And through these micro shout outs, it's an excellent way, and it can be through a text, it can be through an IM. This doesn't all have to be verbal, but it's an opportunity again for us to send a very short message around something that the individual did or the team did. I have group chats within my organization, and I will send a thank you blast or a good morning blast or have a great weekend team blast, right? So those micro shout outs allow you to take advantage of those hidden moments. And then the last one is spot checks. And this isn't a micromanagement technique. This is an engagement technique that you can use when you know somebody's working maybe on a difficult project or a deadline is coming up. And you simply either reach out to them via IM, send them a Zoom, invite them on a Zoom call, or run by their cubicle or their desk and just check on them. Hey, is there anything I can do to support you? I know you got a deadline coming up. What can I do? And the answer could simply be, nothing, John, I got it. Okay, well, I'm here if you need me. Those little spot checks let them know that you're thinking about them. They're on your mind. What they're doing is important. It brings value to the organization, and you got a lifeline. I'm your lifeline if you need me. Very important. So those three applications, recognizing, again, those hidden moments where we can interact with people to build influence, absolutely free. The second area that we're going to talk about is being intentional about our connection. So here, small talk, how many times again, and I'm using like the water cooler, you're maybe got a kitchen area where the coffee's at and the refrigerator, maybe you got some snacks out, whatever that looks like. And you're in there warming up your food, pouring yourself a cup of coffee or however you prepare your coffee in the morning. And the first question, the weather's out. Everything navigates to the weather. I don't know why it is. Or food, right? Or food. Well, you're warming up in there. Hopefully it smells nice. But again, those are the type of small talk that's very disposable. Like, how was your weekend? Did you have a good night? Those types of questions, do you really care is what I'm asking. Because if you don't, stop it. Don't do it. That small talk, even though it seems very cordial and you're being nice, it's disposable. If you are looking to build connections, here I want you to ask intentional questions to build rapport. And in order for us to do that, we have to be intentional with our time. When we ask a question, be intentional that you listen to the answer. Don't just walk off or walk by in the hallway, whatever that looks like. Take time to really listen. And then that way, the next time that you have an opportunity to intentionally ask a question, now you can point that question to what you heard. Try it on. I want to take a quick break from the episode today to talk about a couple things. The first thing, less than 40% of our listeners are subscribed to our channel. You would be doing me a huge favor if you click on that subscribe button. It helps us grow our Go Be Great community and get this podcast out to as many people as we possibly can. The second thing, are you a small business owner that is drowning in the day-to-day operations? You're delegating tasks and you're still doing all the work. You're experiencing a high turnover. Maybe you don't have the systems and processes in place that you need to run a successful business. I invite you to go over to thejohnespinosa.com, fill out the form to see if you're the right fit. Now back to the episode. So 3 applications here. I love to do this with my team, especially, again, there's a lot of change going on in organizations that I work with, organizations that I'm involved in. Change is constant. So this one-word climate application, I love it. Give me one word. What's the climate? What's your climate? Dipping toe in the water? Are you cold? Are you icy? Are you hot? Like one word. Tell me what your mindset is. How are you feeling? Give me one word. And it allows you to get some feedback. It allows them maybe to get some stuff off their mind. And it may even invoke a really cool conversation, a meaningful conversation, because we're all about those small interactions. Completely free, right? All it costs is your time. So this is very, very useful, especially if you don't have the budget to be handing out cash awards and you're in a crunch. You got to get maybe a deadline to meet, or product needs to hit the shelf or go out to market, whatever that looks like. One word climates can allow you insight into what your team is thinking. So the second application we're going to talk about is pause, paraphrase, and then ask an intentional question. So going back to the example I was using earlier, after you ask a question, an individual is responding, do you immediately dive into the next thing or immediately dive into offering solutions? Instead, just a simple pause, a 2 to 3 second pause. And if you don't know what 2 to 3 seconds looks like, count or tap your foot, whatever that looks like. Not loud, don't be tapping your foot loud. But this is an instructional technique that we teach a lot of the instructors. When they ask, if they're teaching in the classroom, if they ask a question or a really good speaker, allow time for the audience to digest what they just heard and then formulate a response. So the pause, that silent pause, is awkward. It's just abnormal break in the conversation, but it allows people to think and people to begin to render what they just heard, to really kind of gain some perspective around the response that was just given. So pause and then paraphrase if you have to. Don't be a parrot here. When I say paraphrase, use as many of the words as the respondent gave you to paraphrase back what you thought you heard, allow them to respond or clarify, and then ask a good clarifying question. Again, be intentional about this. Don't just check the box on each one of these things. Program it into your natural behavior. And we'll talk about habits here in a little bit, but this will become, it's not going to feel right. I'm just telling you that right now. It is going to feel like it's just icky and abnormal and you're kind of robotic, but the more you use this, you're going to get used to it. The more you become comfortable with it, the more the team's going to become comfortable with it. And then last but not least, thank yous. Those two words have so much weight when they are used in a genuine way. There is no amount of money, in my experience, that can surpass those two words. When somebody feels true gratitude, like they were part of something, and true appreciation of you as the leader, as the business owner for what they did, no matter how hard they worked, no matter how many hours they put in, a simple thank you and then be specific about what you're thankful for is so intentional. It's just gold. It is gold within our organizations, especially as we're building the cultures, we're building that foundation, and we as leaders are building that influence. It creates connection when it is genuine and it is a true appreciative form of the work, the effort that individual has put in. So that's the second one, building that intentional connection. And then the third one, we're going to amplify it. We're going to take recognizing those hidden moments, being intentional about how we're going to do that. Now we're going to amplify it. We're going to take it to the next level. So listen here. One thing that I encourage people to do, again, this goes back to consistency. Don't just show up one day and do this, and then the next day, everything falls off. Now, I'm telling you, out of all my years, it is almost impossible to have 2 perfect days in a row. So I get it. You're going to come in, you're going to be energized about everything that you're learning here today. You're going to go into the office tomorrow. You're going to put all these things to good use. And then the next day, maybe you're not having a good morning, and so you fall off. Pick one thing and be consistent with it. That's how you're going to begin to kind of snowball or amplify all these things put in practice. So one of the things here that I like to do, it takes 30 minutes of my time. I program it into my calendar, is an end of the week wrap up. What did we accomplish? Top 3 things. How are we going? How are we progressing on things? It's an opportunity to roll in your thank yous, use your first name drops, right? Do all of the things that we talked about in the first 2 topics, but now we're going to amplify that. So we're going to keep it going through an end of week wrap up. The second one, micro mentorship opportunities. So these right here are throughout the week when maybe you're just sitting in your office, or maybe it's even you're on the way to lunch, or whatever impromptu. This isn't a programmed event. These are those micro mentorship opportunities where you hear something in casual conversation and you go back to pause, paraphrase, and question, and allow that individual to expand. And then for you as a mentor, because we're always mentoring, whether you realize it or not, people are watching you, good habits or bad habits. So this is an opportunity for us maybe to challenge the status quo. Somebody made a comment the other day, John, I can never do what you do. And it was a mentorship opportunity. It was like this flag was going off in my head. And so I asked the question, what is it that you think I do that you can't do? And we began to have this really enriched conversation, this in-depth conversation. And in the end, what they thought was difficult, that they could never see themselves doing, they began to believe in themselves. And if it wasn't just that micro mentorship opportunity, it wouldn't have occurred. So that's an example. And then last, pay it forward. I want to challenge everybody, listeners, and I want you to pay it forward to your organizations, to your teams, and your business, all of the things that we talked about today. Share this episode with somebody. That's a way to pay it forward. Thank people for what they're doing and have them, challenge them to pay it forward to somebody else. These are the things that will perpetuate, that will amplify, that begin to snowball in an organization, and they are completely free. Everything that we went over today is 100% free. Some of it will take a little bit of your time, but for the most part, it doesn't cost you anything as a business owner. So I'm going to bust that myth that you have to have money and you have to have like this grand events in order to show appreciation to your employees. That's not true. I just gave you nine ways that you can begin to implement. We just shared 9 ways that you can begin to implement these tactics, these applications in your just small interactions, and they will begin to build. I hope this helps somebody today. Go be great. I believe in you. Talk to everyone later. Bye-bye. If you like what you're hearing, do us a favor. Click on that subscribe button. Give us a thumbs up or leave a comment. That lets us know that what we are putting out benefits you. If you want additional information or resources or learn how to work with me, head on over to thejohnespinosa.com, because when we become better versions of ourselves, it helps us get others to where they're going. Go be great. Talk to everyone later.